Day and night, your body works with a single objective: to keep you alive. Your cells are obsessed with you. You are their only concern. They think about you and your well-being constantly. Not only do they work tirelessly for you, but they would also die for you. However, there comes a time when they decide that they are more important, that they have their own dreams and aspirations. They want an independent life, and after getting to know you well, they don't like you that much and want to break free. They want to focus on themselves and their future, no longer willing to put collective well-being above their own. They are no longer willing to die for you. But let me explain it to you. Cancer is a disease in which some cells in the body grow uncontrollably and spread to other parts. To understand this, we need to talk about how our body functions when it's healthy. What we mentioned at the beginning, that all your cells work for your well-being and are willing to die for you, is true and extremely important. Our body is fascinating, coordinating every detail to ensure that all processes of each system, organ, tissue, and cell occur precisely and at the right moment. A crucial part of this coordination is controlling cell growth and death. Although our cells are independent, they always focus on the common good over their own. When they are sick, have genetic damage, or are old, they self-destruct through a process called apoptosis, or signal immune cells to eliminate them. Nature shows us that cooperation and proper resource allocation lead to success. Our cells volunteer to sacrifice themselves so we can live long and healthy lives. But in cancer, cells decide to act in their own interest over the collective interest. Don't be confused. Cells are neither good nor bad, nor do they conspire against us. Cells simply follow instructions from the manual, known as DNA, that they all possess. If this DNA gets corrupted, the instructions become distorted, causing the cell to behave strangely. Cancer cells differ in many ways from normal cells. For example, normal cells only grow when they receive signals from the body. Cancer cells grow even without these signals. Normal cells obey signals to stop dividing and even to die when ordered. Cancer cells ignore these signals and continue to divide or refuse to die. Normal cells stop growing when they encounter other cells and generally don't move around the body. Cancer cells invade nearby areas and spread to other parts. Normal cells help the immune system identify if something is wrong with them, while cancer cells deceive or hide from the immune system to avoid elimination. Cancer cells accumulate changes in their chromosomes, such as duplications and deletions, with some even having twice the normal number of chromosomes, while normal cells cannot survive these alterations. Another crucial difference is that cancer cells tend to grow without the body's control, leading them to reproduce rapidly, consuming many resources. You've probably heard that sugar feeds cancer. This is an oversimplification used for clickbait and creates confusion. All cells, whether healthy or cancerous, use glucose as their primary energy source. This isn't something invented by McDonald's or big corporations to make people sick. Your dog's cells also use glucose for energy. Watch a video on respiration to understand how it combines with oxygen to transform into energy. While healthy cells also consume glucose, cancer cells consume more due to their higher metabolic rate to support rapid growth and division. We know that cancer cells grow uncontrollably, requiring a lot of energy, oxygen, and everything they can get around them. This rapid growth is exploited by chemotherapy. Chemotherapy can be described as controlled poisoning of the body, using toxic chemicals that damage rapidly reproducing cells, primarily cancer cells. However, other cells that reproduce quickly, such as those producing hair and lining the digestive system, are also affected, causing hair loss and stomach issues during treatment. We take advantage of cancer cells' greed. They consume more poison than healthy cells, eventually killing them. Back to sugar, this accelerated consumption led to the misunderstanding that sugar feeds cancer. However, simply eliminating sugar is not an effective strategy for cancer treatment or prevention. Depriving cancer cells of sugar doesn't necessarily deprive them of energy or stop their growth. Cancer cells are very adaptable, surviving and potentially switching to other fuel sources like amino acids or fatty acids. That said, a diet high in sugars is a strong risk factor for developing certain types of cancer. Today, the connection between sugar and cancer is an active area of research. Whether there's a connection or not, it's always a good idea to limit sugar intake for overall health. Alright, I get it. They grow fast, but why does everything cause cancer? First, not everything causes cancer, which is crucial to understand. If everything caused cancer, then nothing would. If everything is going to kill me, why bother taking care of myself? If everything causes cancer, why take precautions? Thinking that everything causes cancer discredits the prevention of this harmful disease when there are clear carcinogenic factors we can prevent. First, cancer can start almost anywhere in the body because we have cells everywhere. All our cells contain genetic material which is susceptible to mutations. It's important to understand that mutations are a natural part of genetic replication. Our body has mechanisms to correct these errors, but problems arise when mutations get out of control, and the body can't correct them. Cancer is common because it results from a process that occurs in all our cells, cell division and reproduction. Cancer particularly arises when mutations occur in genes that control this division, causing the cell to divide and grow uncontrollably. Several factors increase the prevalence of mutations in our cells, known as carcinogens. As discussed, cancer is a multifactorial disease because many factors can damage our DNA. For instance, excessive sun exposure, inhaling fumes, viral infections, or consuming certain products are linked to cancer, despite seeming unrelated. What they have in common is that they can break and change the bonds of our DNA molecule, corrupting it. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies substances based on their cancer-causing potential. The list is extensive, and reviewing it would take the whole video. There are 4 classifications, separating substances based on the amount of evidence indicating they are carcinogenic. Some substances, like asbestos, have strong evidence, while others, like the recently added aspartame, have less. Experts have differing opinions. Some avoid substances on the list regardless of classification, while others argue that the evidence is limited for many to be labeled carcinogenic, and they have a valid point. Just because a substance causes cancer in a rat that consumes 3 times its weight doesn't mean it will do the same in humans daily. This channel doesn't give medical advice, but I can share my personal experience. In my daily life, I try to avoid substances on the list without panicking. I prefer not to be part of the statistics generating enough evidence to declare a substance carcinogenic. I'd rather say, "Well, I didn't know aspartame could cause cancer." I share this with you because we're friends. The complete list is in the video links if you're interested. We like to promote good habits on this channel, especially those that prevent cancer. Here's a list of things you can start doing today to prevent this disease. Quit smoking. Who still smokes in 2023? Seriously, it stinks. This includes vapors. Stop using those USB sticks that are terrible for your bodies and the environment. Maintain a healthy weight. Being overweight or obese is linked to a higher risk of various cancers, including breast, colorectal, and endometrial cancer. Maintaining a healthy weight through a balanced diet and regular exercise can help reduce the risk. Eat a healthy diet, a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and legumes can help prevent cancer. Not eating enough fruits and vegetables is a high-risk factor for cancer. Additionally, certain eating habits increase cancer risk, such as high consumption of processed foods, refined sugars, and animal fats. You saw this in the news, but probably ignored it. Consuming processed meats like bacon, hot dogs, and sausages is linked to cancer. High consumption of red meat like pork, beef, and lamb is also linked to colorectal cancer. Other cancer-related foods include sugary drinks like sodas, energy drinks, sports drinks, and alcohol. Limiting or avoiding alcohol is recommended. Lastly, prepackaged foods usually contain high sodium, sugar, and preservatives linked to a higher cancer risk. Engage in regular physical activity. Exercise changes your life, as everyone has told you, and I'm telling you again. Regular exercise reduces the risk of certain cancers, like colon, breast, lung, and endometrial cancer. The recommendation is at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous intensity exercise per week. Also, include the basics: adequate rest and stress reduction. Environmental factors. We must demand stricter regulations on air and water pollutants. Contaminants increasing our risk include arsenic, asbestos, benzene, and vinyl chloride. Also, ultraviolet radiation is a factor. Stay away from tanning beds and even UV lights used for nails, which appear dangerous. Be smart about sun exposure. If not everything causes cancer, why is cancer so prevalent? There are several reasons why it seems like everything causes cancer. First, it's a multifactorial disease. Cancer doesn't have a single cause but results from various genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors. Many different things can contribute to cancer risk. Thinking that unrelated factors like eating hot dogs or having many X-rays cause the same disease gives a false impression that everything in between could cause cancer. Second, the global population is aging. One of the main cancer risk factors is age. As we age, we accumulate mutations, making it more likely that these mutations manifest as cancer. Third, the volume of research. Cancer is one of the most studied diseases today, with millions of resources invested in better understanding it and developing treatments. This massive amount of research leads to thousands of studies being published annually, creating a constant information bombardment that can cause a bias effect. Fourth, media coverage. Because of its significance, many studies reach mass media, often distorted, causing us to be bombarded with claims like coffee causing and protecting against cancer simultaneously. These contradictory premises have a reason, but we'll cover that in another video. Media reports often lack the necessary context to understand each study's findings, relying on sensationalism driven by the fear of cancer without adequately explaining the parameters analyzed and the quality of the evidence. Fifth, misunderstanding statistics. When a report says a certain factor increases cancer risk by 20%, it doesn't mean that 20% of people exposed to that factor will get cancer. It means the risk increases by 20% relative to the original risk. For example, if the risk was 1%, a 20% increase means the risk is now 1.2%. But 1.2% risk isn't a catchy headline, so they say it increases by 20%. It's not a lie, but misleading. Sixth, correlation is not causation. Sometimes studies find a correlation between a factor and increased cancer risk, but this doesn't mean that factor directly causes cancer. Correlation does not imply causation. Wait, are you trying to convince me not to worry about cancer? Are you downplaying its importance? No. The reason for this video is that cancer cases are rising, not only among the aging population. The average age for cancer detection today is 68, which is not ideal, but according to a recent study, cancer diagnoses are increasing among those under 50, particularly in people aged 30, 39. Cancer is becoming younger, highlighting the importance of not dismissing prevention by saying everything causes cancer. We still don't know what contributes to the rising cancer rates, but it's believed to be linked to a sedentary lifestyle, poor nutrient diets, and higher prevalence of overweight. When more information is available, we'll discuss it further.